Hello everyone. So welcome to all of you to this functions of human resource management session. So in the part 1 video, we discussed about the managerial functions of HRM. So how the functions of management, especially the planning, organizing, directing and controlling will be related to the human resource management. So now the focus will be on operative function. So very important aspect in functions of the HRM as well as the function of the HR department, and as well as the last function will be the advisory function. So in the operative function we will cover main 8 areas. So kindly note this. So first one is with respect to employment, also called as procurement. So here various functions will be covered, starting from the manpower planning to the induction or orientation program. And after that, the development, human resource development function will be there. It will include mainly training and development of employees. Third one, compensation. So there should be a give and take policy in the organization. So you need to compensate the contributions by the employees. Next, the fourth one is maintenance. You need to retain the employees by offering various services and other benefits. The welfare, safety employees of the employee should be considered. And in the fifth one, you need to motivate the employees to get the work from them. Then the sixth area is recording, personal records, the attendance, the muster roll, absenteeism, turnover. Then the last but one is industrial relation or employee relation. It's also called as integration function. So all should work as one unit. So how to build the relationship. And finally, separation. Because when there is a entry, so there should be exit strategies should be discussed. So in detail, we will have a discussion one by on the functions of human resource management. So first one is employment. So we know that for the required position, we require the right candidate enabled to do that particular job or perform that job. So this involves mainly procurement, means recruitment of employees, employing them with suitable knowledge, skills, experience, and the aptitude necessary to perform the various jobs. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯ ಒಂದು ಜಾಬ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅದು ಚೀಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಕ್ ಸೂಪರ್ಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಜಾಬಿಗೆ ಅದರದೇ ಆದ ಒಂದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್, ನಾಲೆಜ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ the focus will be on first is job analysis and job design, manpower planning, also called as human resource planning, recruitment, selection, placement, and induction. So these are the areas are coming in employment function. So in brief, we will have a explanation to this. Job analysis and design. So analyzing the job means we have to describe that job in terms of the duties and responsibilities, as well as the minimum qualities required to perform that job. Because every job should be described here. It's called as job description, and job specification will come. Means what is the minimum qualities? For example, to maintain the accounting records and all, so you need a graduate from commerce or from MBA or chartered accountant. So every job is required minimum qualities or minimum qualification to perform that job, and you need to design that job. After that, the human resource planning will come. Means forecasting is required. So determination of the right people means right number of people as well as right kind of people at right time and at right position. Because without planning, you could not go further with recruitment or selection. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಲೇಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಸಿ ದಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಪವರ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದಿ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಪವರ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಅಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ದ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್, whether there is any surplus or deficit. So on that basis your next function will be decided. So once you determine the number of position, so next you will go for recruitment. So recruitment and selections are two separate functions, so don't get confusion here. Recruitment means it is a process of searching for the prospective employees here and stimulating them to apply for the jobs, because every job is requiring different qualification, work experience, and the job task, duties, responsibilities are different. So you need to give the recruitment notification, and you need to attract the prospective candidate from both internal or maybe the external to apply for the job. Next, once you have a pool of candidate, then selection will come. So selection, we know that it is a process of choosing the most suitable candidate who have applied for the job in the organization from both within as well as outside the organization. So here the focus is on the selection process. So companies like, for example, Infosys or Tata or maybe the Google or Microsoft, so they follow very rigorous training or selection process to select the candidate. And you know that the selection process will include examination, written test, interviews, physical fitness, and reference checking will be there. So after all this process, finally the candidate will be selected. And once the candidate is selected, so he will be given the place, that's called as placement. Then finally there will be a orientation or induction program. Induction means we can say that it is a process of introducing the new employee to the organization, because he is unfamiliar to the organization, so he should be introduced, and a brief information about the company's history, the executives, the top people in the organization, the work culture, and department information. So all these should be shared with the new employees. Next is HR development. So once employees get into the organization, so they should be given proper training, as well as from time to time developmental program should be arranged. So the requirement of training we know that it is a process of improving, molding, as well as changing the skills, knowledge, and ability of an employee. So nowadays we are observing that because of this particular pandemic situation, so online teaching nowadays is made mandatory. So teaching fraternity, they need to learn the new skills, how to engage the student with the online platform. So similarly, when the employees are get into the organization, so training should be given to learn that particular job. So what are the minimum, again the skills and attitudes are required. So for example, Infosys company, they are giving minimum 3 to 4 months of training to the new comers in their Mysore training campus. So it will be the one of the largest training campus in world. Next, after the training, next the focus will be on development, where new skills are to meet the changes or challenges, so that I think the employees can perform the jobs very effectively. So development may be focused for the higher level positions or higher level responsibilities. Next, there is a focus on career planning and development also, because once employees get into the organization as a lower level cadre, so they need to be given clear guidelines towards their career prospectus. So career planning is required, and as well as the career development program also required. And finally, performance appraisal is coming. Means we can say that evaluation of the performance of the employee against the benchmark. So it is a very important function in human resource planning, human resource management. So nowadays I think in different methods, the performance appraisal will be done in organization. Then the third element is compensation. It includes all the rewards that an employee receive during the course of his or her job for his contribution to the organization. So now what contributions employees are making? So they are contributing their knowledge, their ideas, they are sacrificing their time, energy. So in return what they are getting? That is called as compensation. So it is like input and output relationship. So basically we need to focus on job evaluation, called as a systematic evaluation of to know the worth of that job. So every job should be evaluated, and on that basis we are going to fix the salary or the compensation. Next, wages and salary administration. Depending upon the job evaluation methods, so we have to fix the wages for the lower class workers and salary for the especially the employee cadre. Then incentive should be given to them in addition to their regular wages and salary. Actually incentives are given on the basis of their performance, so it is considered like a bonus. Then fringe benefits, actually considered as service benefits given to the employees during their employment as well as post employment. For example, gratuity or pension or medical assistance. So it will include both monetary as well as non-monetary benefits. Fourth function is maintenance. focusing on the working conditions and welfare of employees, because you need to get work from workers effectively, and it's definitely based on the working environment. So this includes measures taken by the employer with respect to the health, safety, as well as the welfare of the workforce. So the HR department also provides for various welfare schemes related to the physical and social well-being of the employees, especially by providing cafeteria benefits or restroom or like a counseling or group insurance, education for their children, and recreation facilities, so that you can retain the workforce in the organization. Otherwise, what will happen? If you not retain them, definitely they will be moving out from your company, and you are losing the talented employees from your organization. Then fifth one is motivation. So it is a process of integrating employee into the work situation in a way that it encourages them to perform or deliver to the best of their ability. So HR department mainly in collaboration with the other department. So they need to understand first the requirement of employees, then need to design the motivation system, both in financial as well as non-financial manner, because every employee you can't motivate in same technique, because the employees will differ from their attitude, perception, their like, their dislike. So financial as well as non-financial motivational technique is very important. So some employee can be motivated because of paying them bonus or incentives through monetary format. But some other class of employees, they require non-financial motivation, means giving them autonomous in the work, so they can take their decision, or giving them challenging work, or like a word of appreciation. And finally, you need to monitor the motivation tools. And sixth one, maintaining the personal records. So it is very important here. It keeps full records of the training, achievements, and mobility of employees, especially we can say that transfer, promotion, demotion, and all. So personal records will assist to track the absenteeism rate, labor turnover rate, and it will be benefit to design the policies and programs with respect to the HR. So you will come to know the absenteeism rate, and you can find the reason for that, as well as you can find the labor turnover rate also. The seventh main function is employee relation. So it is one of the major function of human resource management. Responsibility of maintaining good industrial relation is mainly discharged by the human resource manager. So human resource manager can help in collective bargaining. So these are the various methods of maintaining the employee relation. So collective bargaining, or joint committees, or joint consultation, or settlement of dispute. So human resource manager can do a great deal in maintaining the industrial peace in the organization, as he is deeply associated with the various committees on discipline, labor welfare, safety, and grievances. Means ultimately, we can say that there should be a cordial relationship between employer, employees, as well as the union. So the management of the company, they should have a good relation with the trade union also whenever they are taking any decision. So there should be a participation from workers. That's called as workers' participation in the management. So if you inculcate these methods, so definitely you can improve the industrial relationship and you can have that industrial peace or harmony in the organization. And finally, the final function of HRM is separation. So when we go back to the first function, procurement, so it is logic that last should be the separation, and in a systematic manner the separation function should be done. So when employees will be separated, I think the HR manager has to ensure that the release of retirement benefits to the retiring personnel in time. And we will have different types of separation. Separation means employees, they are leaving the organization, so that there should be no connection between employee and the organization. So first one is the retirement. So normally it will happen. ಸೊ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತುಂಟು, ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ಸೇವೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಖಾಸಗಿ ಸೇವೆಯಲ್ಲಿ 60-65 ವರ್ಷ ಒಂದು ನಾವು ನಿವೃತ್ತಿಯ ವಯಸ್ಸು ಅಂತ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಗಣನೆಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ರಿಟೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಎರಡು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ಒಂದು ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ರಿಟೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ when they attain the age of 60, so superannuation will be done. Sometimes employee if wish to have a pre-retirement, that is called as VRS, voluntary retirement service ಅನ್ನಸಲ ಆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Resignation is the second one, when the employees are not happy with the organization or because of some personal reason, so employees can terminate himself by giving a resignation. So ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಕೊಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. Layoff is one kind of a temporary arrangement. We can't say that it's a permanent. Layoff means actually inability of the employer to provide job because of the shortage of the raw material, power, or any breakdown of machineries. So as per the Industrial Dispute Act of 1949, so layoff can be announced for a minimum half day up to 45 days. Then retrenchment is coming. Retrenchment means actually because of the external factors, maybe because of this kind of pandemic situation, when there is economic activities are showing a downward trend, so company they need to downsize the workforce. So in that case the employees are kicking off, means we can say that there is one strategy called pink slip, means sending the employees to their home without giving any notices. So as per the Industrial Dispute Act, minimum 45 days notice should be given to the employees whenever company they want to go for retrenchment. Then finally dismissal is there. Dismissal is similar to retrenchment, but because in dismissal case what will happen, it is one case with respect to disciplinary action. So whenever employees they are going against the rules regulation of the organization, or where they are indulging in certain fraud or in some unethical practices, so in that case they will be dismissed from the organization, and partially there will be a suspension for temporary period. Employee can be suspended. So these are the main operative functions of the human resource management, starting from, we can say that recruitment till separation. And finally there will be advisory function. So the HR manager has a specialized education and training in managing the human resources in the organization. So he need to give advice to the top level management with respect to in formulation and evaluation of the programs, policies and procedures related to the HR, as well as he need to guide or advise for achieving and maintaining the good human relation and keeping that high morale of the employees. And the second one is advisor to the departmental heads. So the personnel manager offer advices to the heads of various other departments on the matters of HR functions like HR planning or job analysis, recruitment, selection, placement, training and appraisal. So if you have any queries, put that in the comment and like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.